sports and entertainment video, or anybody that joins the live stream. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've checked in, especially with regards to cycling, and I'm getting ready to get into why I kind of been silent, on what I had going on with my cycling. A couple of quick housekeeping notes. Always check out the audio only podcast. It's always personal, where I kind of get away from sports and entertainment. Although some entertainment has been coming back into that content, but check me out over there for additional content. And then also, I just want to send a shout out to this group right here. This new hoodie that I just got. I don't mind shedding some light on other people and other organizations that are doing excellent, outstanding work. But the downtown boxing gym up in Detroit, I can't remember the brother who heads up the team up there. But when it comes to boxing, even though this is amateur boxing or just like a boxing club, and it's not what we see on TV and follow the big stories and the big names that we follow. But I tell you, this organization is year in, year out, is one of my favorite stories in boxing that I follow. Is what they do at the downtown boxing gym in Detroit. And a lot of people talk a lot of stuff on YouTube about the black community, black excellence, black power, black empowerment, black girl magic, black this, black that, black that. I don't buy much of that shit, but what I see the people at DBGD doing is legitimate work. When we talk about STEM, kids learning or being exposed to the STEM subjects, and people getting scholarships, people improving academically and whatnot. Just check in, just Google it. I've tried to get an interview of them, and they basically told me, go hug a root, go pound sand. We on CBS mornings and CNN and all this other stuff. You too small for us. So I buy the merch to support the cause. Getting to cycling. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a review on cold weather gear. I just mentioned a couple of articles or items of clothing that I would suggest for those that are trying to ride outdoors. And I've also been talking about cycling because as my first year riding, imagine that you encounter something that's truly beneficial to your life and that you truly enjoy, and it's a must-do thing throughout the week. I connect with my cycling damn near daily. And you have all of these positive results in your life and in your fitness, and you meet these great people. And then because the temperatures change outdoors, all of this stuff just kind of disappears like the munchkins when the Wicked Witch showed up. And I'm still sitting here like, we ain't riding no more. The rides are over. The fun is over. I can't drop no more pounds. I can't get stronger on my bike. What's the deal? And so that's why I had the continuation of trying to ride outside and trying to link up with those in my area who were willing to brave the elements and still get in some good work. That was happening. And then right before the end of the year, I on a couple Fridays ago, I was out and had a minor mechanical issue with a problem that I'm really starting to have with riding. We won't get into that. But anyway, I was without my main bike for 10 days or so, 10 days plus. And I was actually going to try to, over the Christmas break or the holiday break, I was actually going to try to get up to like 6,000 miles for the year, for 2021. I was stopped at 5,200, 5,300 was where this mechanical issue messed me up. It took a while for the part to get in, for me to get my bike back, and I'm sitting here miserable. At the same time, prior to that ride, I had started doing a couple of rides on Zwift, which is a way to get in virtual rides. It's very popular. You know, just Google it. You can find it. You put the companion app on your phone. You put the Zwift app on your phone, and then you get your smart trainer, and then you go to work. And I was kind of apprehensive about this. It's a subscription to most of it's a subscription involved with using Zwift. It is very useful. It is worth it. It is worth it. But I'm tired of spending money on bike. I just had to get my bike fixed. You know, I'm tired of spending money. But you know, I canceled some other subscriptions that I had and made room for it. And so with me being without my main bike and being able to get out, you know, for 10 days plus to ride outside, my backup option of virtual riding started to look a lot better. And then lo and behold, after I started familiarizing myself with the options on Zwift, you know, you can do races. There's different types of structured workouts that you can start, like 12-week programs that are designed to improve you in specific areas of your cycling. There are endurance rides out there. The Major Taylor Cycling Club, like the national organization, they even have a Wednesday night 6 p.m. Virtual ride where all of the Major Taylor members across the country, if you would like to do it, they have these rides every Wednesday at starting at 6 or 6:30. I can check on that. I'll put a link or something in there. But again, this is another way to stay connected to the people who may have been motivating you to stay on top of your cycling and to keep you up with what you had going on with your fitness. This is an easy way to do it. So the problem that I ran into with the virtual rides is because of my setup mainly. How can I get on my bike in my basement and ride 25 miles, 30 miles, 35 miles, 45 miles? How can I do all of this? Because I don't like it. I don't like being in here. I'd rather go out and be cold and ride outside and get my miles in. So the way that I went about it was I started looking into the races. Not racist people, races, R-A-C-E-S, races. And I was hooked, to be honest with you. And I started off on like some races that were 2 laps. Now I'm up to races that are like 6 laps. Some of these races go from like 25 minutes and then or all the way up to an hour. And you're racing against people from around the world. A lot of Europeans, a lot of Eastern Europeans, a lot of Asians. As you're riding with all of these different people, you see what country they're from as their avatars are riding alongside you and whatnot. So the competition, the challenge, the type of workout that I was getting, it took my mind away from the fact that I was sitting on my, I was indoors on my bike looking at this, looking at the virtual, the view of this stuff, that I was looking at this on my phone. You can cast this to your television very easily. I just didn't think I was going to be doing this for longer than a couple of days. So I haven't done that yet, but I am in the process of figuring out how to get it up on my TV. You can do it with a tablet. You can set it up on a tablet. There are ways to make it more immersive and better for you. I haven't gotten there yet. But anyway, I told you before, I don't get bogged down with a lot of numbers when it comes to cycling. I don't pay attention to much of it at all. I keep this very simple intentionally. I go ride, and the people that are up at the front, I work my way up to the front, and that's kind of how I get better, how I've gotten stronger. I just keep trying to get closer to the people in any group that I show up and ride with, whoever looks like they're serious or they know what they're doing or they're just fast, I follow them. I don't care about none of these other measurables or statistics or categories. I don't get bogged down in none of that stuff. What I did learn immediately once I got on Zwift is there's something called watts to kilograms. And it's, you need to know what this is because you need to get in the proper categories when you go to participate in races. And so there's categories A, B, C, D, and maybe even E. And it's all based on this weight, watts per kilogram, which is the amount of power that you put out as you pedal relative to how much you weigh. So me, I'm a bigger guy. I weigh over 225 pounds and my watts are ridiculous. I ain't bragging on myself. It just takes, after riding outdoors for 10 months, it takes a lot of damn power to move around how much I weigh. And when I started, I weighed 265 pounds. So now I'm down to 230-ish. I just do a lot when I'm riding. But the first time I got in a race, I think I started with a category B. And once the race started, I was with the other 7 dudes for like 15 seconds and they left me. And for the next 35 minutes, I was riding by myself. And I was like, well, this isn't fun. So I had to figure out, you know, what category I needed to be in so that I could enjoy the whole experience of riding with other people virtually. So I went down to category D. I started being able to ride with the pack a lot better. And then you start noticing that the same thing, the same elements that you do when you're riding with a group in person, drafting. There's also, you hear the noise from the other riders when you're with like 25, 50 other people on the screen and you hear all the wheels and stuff turning. It really is pretty thrilling. It really gives you this immersive experience of racing other people. And so, you know, in category D, I started finishing in the top 30, started finishing in the top 15. I finished tied for first. I had a couple of top 10 finishes. And then my watts per kilogram started changing and I had to move up to category C. So I had a couple of races with category C. I got used to that group and I could keep up with that group, or I could place in the top 15, you know, top 10. And last night I actually did, or 2 days ago, I actually went back reluctantly because I'm just I'm at like the bottom of that category. I think I'm right around 3.1 watts per kilogram. And you do this by taking your body weight. If you leave it in whatever they tell you your watts are after you finish a ride, it gives you your watts. You take your watts and divide it by your body weight, you know, convert that from pounds to kilograms, and then you get this ratio. And then you kind of figure out where you need to be in the categories. And it becomes important because if you're a B rider and you're down in the D group, at the end of the race, people can see what you really were. So here you are, you're a B and you beat all the D's. You came in first place by 5 minutes. Everybody can look on the screen and see that you basically cheated, you know. And some of the races, I guess they remove you or they report you or they flag you or whatever. I don't know. I just figured out what my watts per kilogram was, and I try to get in the appropriate categories and do my thing. But like I said, now I'm back up to category B, and like I said, this has really just become a way to really keep me interested and to keep me. It's very motivational for me to stay to continue riding. when I can't get outside. There are some, different people have their preferences. I think another virtual riding program is Trainer Road is one. I think that's the only other one. There are a few of them, but somebody's always going to be complaining about something. So there are maybe cycling purists who think Trainer Road is more realistic, or it's better geared towards helping a cyclist achieve a certain strength or improvement in a certain area. So Trainer Road is out there. You can do that. One of my main buddies, actually my main buddy that I ride with, he is a diehard Zwifter, or fan of Zwift, or proponent of Zwift, and he spends an exorbitant amount of time on Zwift in the Watopia world. And with him only being able to get out to ride once a week, which is on Sunday, and I've mentioned it before, that's kind of our long distance day, or longer distance day. He's able to do everything that I do on Sunday by spending 3 or 4 other days on Zwift. So, I mean, whether it accurately replicates what you do in the real world or not, there is some benefits to it. Now, interestingly, and I got to get ready to get off of here. Interestingly, I just got my bike back. And after a couple of days, I was finally able to get back outside. It was dry. The temperatures were right and whatnot. And I had a chance to get back outdoors for a ride. And I was kind of interested to see where I was with some of this great stuff I was doing, getting better and stronger and finishing in higher places in these races. How is that going to translate to the last time I rode outdoors and what I was able to do? And of course, as I get outside, it was windy as hell in a couple different directions. I turned on a couple different streets, going a couple different directions, and it was windy on at least 2 of them. And it was very hard to find some areas, some roads with longer stretches where I wasn't riding into very strong headwinds. Crosswinds were grabbing my wheels and stuff. It really wasn't a good day to be outside. So needless to say, I did not get a very good feel for kind of where I was after 2 weeks, a week and a half to 2 weeks of Zwifting and getting stronger based on the numbers that are available to you on there. I really wasn't able to see really whether there was any improvement. There is one stretch around the corner that I use for my warm up as I get out onto my routes, and I've hit some pretty high speeds on this little quarter-mile stretch. I think it's about. I've kind of surprised myself sometimes at some of the speeds that I've hit over there. I did go hit that, but I got on all these layers and it's cold as hell. I did a little something over there, but I don't know. I don't know what it was though. It was one of the better numbers I've seen me hit over there. I will say that. But I need to get a bet. Like I won't get outside today, but I don't know. I'm still. I mean, ultimately, the major test is going to be come, April as we resume the group rides and all the different group rides locally start back up. How do I show up in comparison to where I was in October or September when they shut down? That's going to be the major test to see how beneficial Zwift and virtual cycling was. But like I said, the Wednesday night Major Taylor, ride, I just did that for the first time last Wednesday. I'll do that again tomorrow night. That's a pretty good option on Zwift. All the different races that are on there, I would strongly recommend checking those out if you like that. I mean, it's some days, it's been a couple of races, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a couple of races where I got off the bike and went and sat on the couch and was just trembling. You know, I rode that hard for X amount of minutes, or you know, just for the final sprint. That was an area that I needed to work on, was that final sprint, because I was getting walked down, and you know, I'd be in like 50th place, and this group would pass me, and I finish in like 30 seconds. I go from 50th place to 87th place. And so that's what I kind of been working on in the last couple of races, was working on my strategy, making sure I had enough energy at the end of the race to be able to do that final sprint. Like you see all the sprint videos on YouTube, the highlights. I mean, it ain't literally like that, but figuratively, it's really that riveting. You know, that you see, you know, where the finish line is. Now I'm not able to get out of I'm borrowing a kicker snap right now, which is maybe one of the lower versions of the kicker. And when I try to get out of the saddle, it's not a good look. So I just stay seated and I just try to turn him down with, you know, turn the crank. So that's been real fun. But I finished, and I mean, there's sweat all over the place, you know, sweat running off the mat into my carpet. I got to put down like an extra barrier around the area where I'm Zwifting. But like I said, man, I've gotten off of my bike and like my legs weren't responding right. I was trembling. It gets pretty intense. So, like I said, now that I'm doing that, you know, if I'm in a race that has lasted for 55 minutes or an hour, you know, and I've rode or I've ridden 24 miles or 28 miles, that's enabled me to now, you know, now I'm looking at some of the endurance races, or even if I just get on there and do my own, you know, just ride in one of the courses that are available. Now I'm able to ride for 45 minutes. Now I'm able to ride for an hour. I watch different series on Netflix. You know, I watch an episode or a couple of episodes of a show, or I watch a movie. You know, it's a number of different things to get you to longer riding times or longer distances as you Zwift. So I say all of this to say, for the last 23 minutes, you know, you got to take all of this stuff and figure out how to make it work for you to allow you to work, if that's what you really want to do. And so, like I said, for whether it's the races, whether it's Netflix movies while I'm riding, find you a good time of day that works for you. Is it before work? Is it before dinner? Is it 9 p.m.? I watched the Dayton Flyers basketball game the other day. You know, that's what I watched while I rode. So you got to find what works for you to allow you to do the work that you're trying to do. And so I think, you know, I'm not the biggest Zwift guy and virtual guy, but, you know, we've been doing everything else virtually for the last 18 months plus. So I thought I'd give cycling a chance. And I stumbled across something that at least it's convenient. You know, all you gotta do is throw some shorts on and your shoes. Or hell, I guess you can just throw some shoes on and your heart rate monitor. That is the other piece of equipment that you need, heart rate monitor. And enjoy yourself and keep, you know, chasing the the fitness gains and improvements, you know, that you're setting out there for yourself. Anyway, my lunch is now over. I gotta get back to it. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you know, let me know in the comment section. Again, I'm not trying to tell you I'm no cycling expert. I I'm just trying to encourage anybody that's looking to do something that maybe you've never done before, or something that you haven't considered, that you might mess around and figure out this can be your thing to do what you're trying to do with your fitness and maybe with your life, depending on where you are, age, weight, energy level, etc., etc., etc. Cycling could really be that thing for you if you give it a chance. But again, as a newcomer myself, to get to the end of a very productive year, and then to see, just because the temperatures drop, all of this connectivity just died, in like 1 week. And I'm still sitting here ready to work, and there weren't any options. So that's kind of why I'm throwing these videos out there, because somebody might need to know how they can go about doing what they want to do or what they're interested in. And, it's a perfect time right now. You got 3 or 4 months before April starts, and you can be ready to hit the ground rolling if you show up at any of the local clubs in your area. So again, my name is Wood. You can check me out on Instagram at @flats_domino. Where I talk, I just post about cycling over there. And then lastly, the other note that I meant to make at the beginning when I did the housekeeping thing was in July, around my birthday weekend, actually, the 9th through the 11th. Our Dayton chapter of Major Taylor is actually, we're in the early stages of putting our signature ride together, which is, it's a metric century ride in there. It's a century ride in there. There's a 30-mile course. There's a 17-mile course. There's a family ride. We're trying to have a good turnout this year. I think we had 200 to 250 riders last year. But we're just getting that information out there. You can check out the Major Taylor Cycling Club Dayton on Instagram. The flyer is out there, to save the date and whatnot. I'll start mentioning that more as I do more cycling videos, and I would look forward to anybody in the region who can make it out to that. I'm gonna be at a couple of different events, as they start up this year. I hope to make it out to more. I thought it was dope seeing people from St. Louis, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, obviously, maybe Louisville. A bunch of different cities came through this year. And, being that it was my first year, I didn't make it out to as many different events. I was getting myself together, to be honest. But now, seeing some of the different faces, seeing them on Instagram, I'm looking forward to next year, to this upcoming season, making it out to more myself. It's not just people coming here. I want to get to other cities myself. I'm looking at doing a ride with the, I think it's the Cyclones up in Detroit. Get up there with the 313, maybe ride by the downtown boxing gym, Detroit, maybe. I don't know where that area is. I might not make it back with my bike. Nah, seriously, but we'll see. Let me get back to it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.